Now, let us look at opening Google Colab for the first time. In case you are wondering why we need Colab, it's the same reason why if I was to tell you to write your CV, you would open Microsoft Word to write your CV. For a presentation, you would open something like PowerPoint and so forth. Google Colab will be where we will actually be coding, we'll be actually writing our code. There are many other places you could do this later on. We could entertain implementing what is called integrated development environments or IDEs, but this will require you to literally install this software on your machine. That could be a bit laborious for you, or sometimes you might not have the administrator right if you're using a machine that has been given to you by your company. Good thing about Google Colab is that it's all on the browser. So we just need to open our browser and log in and start coding. You will need a Gmail though. So please make sure that you have a Gmail account. You will use that to then log in. The rest after that is history. Now, open your browser and go to collaboresearch.google.com, sign in with the Google account, click plus notebook, rename your notebook to intro to Python underscore your name, and then each gray box is where you put your code, type Python inside it. To run a cell, you just press either shift and enter, that's a shortcut, or you can press the play button. I'll most probably be using the play button so that you can see this happening. Add a new cell by clicking plus code in the toolbar, and then you can save your file so that it is always there on your Google Drive. You won't need to install anything, so we are good to go. So before we start wasting much time, let me actually go to a browser and demonstrate this in real life. Here I am at my browser. I'll type collab.research.com like you can see there and press enter. Once I get to collab.research.google.com, I'm welcome to this screen. It has said on the top right, you can say plus a notebook, but you can see it's now at the bottom left. What happens is that they are always updating these things, so sometimes the user interface changes a little bit. Do not worry too much about all those things. What you're looking for is the word new notebook. Also, your steps will be a bit slower because as you're logging in for the first time, you might have an additional step or two, but just make sure that you end up logged in. Make sure you are using your Gmail, nothing else. Once you use other emails, things could get tricky. Okay. Once you have logged in, you can now be able to make your notebook. In the notebook, that's where we'll be doing our coding. So I'll click on new notebook like so. It will then load for a second. Once it's loaded, you will then see this. To the top left, you then see untitled. For me, sorry, untitled 3.ipynb. Do not worry about what's following after the dot. All you need to do is to change what's before the dot. Please make sure the dot and what comes after it remains. When you change the name, the dot and what comes after it should remain in place. Don't delete everything. Once you have deleted everything, you won't be able to have the project the way you want it to work, okay? So what did we say we'll then do? We'll then rename the notebook at the top to intro to Python underscore your name. So that's simple. Intro to Python. I'm actually not giving spaces on purpose. You will get used to this in programming. We're always using underscores for space or literally no spaces at all. Intro to Python underscore Evans Fundira. Just like so. Remember, what comes after the dot should never be disturbed. Once you disturb it, please just start another new notebook until you get it right. Don't even try to continue from there because things will always be getting a little bit tricky. Once you have renamed it, you can then just click away. It is now renamed. It will be getting saved to your Google Drive, so you don't need to worry about anything. A lot of stuff is happening in the background. As you can see, every now and then it will always refresh and say saved because you don't need to be literally saving yourself. It's already being saved. That being said, we now have our little platform here where we have this little play button and it says start coding or generate with AI. We will be coding on our own. Later on, I want you to, experiment with generating with AI after you see what coding is all about. Now, When you hover over this, you then see these two little buttons. One says plus code, one says plus code. Once you click it, it gives you another similar cell. These are code cells. This is where we'll be typing our code inside the cell. As you can see, you're allowed to type. Now, Python is a language, so you won't type like what I just did there. This is gibberish. my little 3-year-old would be happy to see us typing like this because that's what he always does on my computer whenever I stand up. So we will be using Python just like English. It has to obey rules. So we'll be obeying the rules and I'll be telling you the rules as we go and you will be obeying those and testing your code, running it, and we will be happy. So every time I say we now need to create a new cell, just know that I would have clicked on new code, and so forth. So now that we know how to add different cells for our codes, you can also delete them if ever you need arises by just clicking on the delete button over there. You can also edit them and so forth. So with our notebook ready to go, we can now start typing our code. Our code will be typed right inside these particular cells. To run the cell, you actually press play. So to do the first code we can actually do is just to print hello world. Once I press on play, it will process a little bit. After this, it will be much faster. After that, it will give me the output right below the cell itself to show me what it's been able to do. So, hello world, and there is the output. So this is the first code that we have actually written to tell Python to type the words hello world to the screen. As we go further, you can then have buttons that then effect these codes when they are pressed. For now, we'll be having our output right at the bottom of our code itself, but that's not a problem. Later on, as we get advanced, you can then start using buttons, user interfaces, touch input, voice input, and other things. For now, this is quite perfect. After this, you can always be able to add using the plus code. So if I hover my mouse over here, I can press plus code, or I can also press it over there. I can then be able to have another piece of code in a different cell. I could actually choose to also print again to the screen, print in normal brackets. I love Python. And then we play. Great. That's about it. In case you're wondering about the history of the name Python, it has nothing to do with the snake. Actually, I always thought it has something to do with the snake. Actually, it is a reference to a TV show that was very popular back 30 years ago called Monty Python. I've seen some little clips of it on YouTube. It seems to be hilarious. So the founder or the person who created the programming language called Python enjoyed that program so much that he named the programming language after that program. So you might also want to take some breaks and watch some Monty Python and see where the inspiration came from. You have to have a good sense of humor, however, otherwise you might not even like it. Great.